Good morning, Boker Tov. Welcome to Boker Tov on this lovely Tuesday morning. It's wonderful to see everybody coming in, and I hope that you're feeling well and doing well this morning. Please do drop a greeting to me and to others who are here together with us to remind us of the wonderful opportunity to have technology help us, like in the morning minyan at Temple, to start together with using technology to connect to one another. Good morning, Joni, and good morning to Annette, and good morning to one and all. Steve and Eleanor and each one of you, as we say to one another, Boker Tov. Welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai. Temple Sinai Congregation of Toronto's daily opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. Good morning, Marcy and Anita and Steve and everyone who's here together with us. I hope that today is a beautiful and meaningful day for you. This being a Tuesday, we'll have the opportunity to share a piece of writing from author and poet Rich Orloff today as we get ready to begin our time together. And so let's start our day as we do each day with a sense of gratitude. Let's join together in the English of the prayer Asher Yatzal that shows our gratitude for the physical awakening each day that is itself miraculous. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. And let's join together in the prayer for the soul in Hebrew and English. When we see a dot in a hey at the end of a word, like the many words on the second line of this prayer, we just let all the breath out. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי תורה היא, אתה בראתה, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי ואתה משמרה בקרבי. כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי, מודה אני לפניך. אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה, אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי ורוח Kol Basar Ish. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. I remember years ago when I learned that, in fact, we don't breathe in air, we don't suck in air, but rather we open up and it creates a space within us, a vacuum into which the air rushes. Likewise, in regard to the spirit, which is compared to the breath, we don't need to bring it into ourselves. Rather, we just open up, and in opening up, that spirit is present in us. It's often present when we have the opportunity to interact with and learn Torah together or individually. So please join me in this bracha for the mitzvah of Torah study. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. וערב נא אדוני אלוהינו את דברי תורתך בפינו ובפי עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה אדוני, המלמד תורה לעמו ישראל. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור. These are the obligations whose value cannot be measured. They nourish us in this world and help us to create the world to come. Kibud av va'em, to honor fathers and mothers. Ugmilut chasadim, to perform acts of love and kindness. Vashkamat bet midrash shacharit v'arvit, to attend the house of study morning and evening. Vachnasat ochim, to welcome the stranger. Uvikur chulim, to visit the sick. V'hachnasat kala, to provide for brides and grooms. Ulevayat hamet, to keep faith with the dead. V'yun tefillah, to pray with sincerity. V'hava'at shalom ben adam l'chavero, to make peace when there is strife, v'talmud Torah keneged kulam. And the study of Torah is equal to them all. Let us continue joining in our Birchot HaShachar, in our blessings of the morning, of the dawn, allowing who we are and what we must do and can do each day in partnership with the divine to dawn upon us. And we're going to recite the blessings alternating between all Hebrew and half Hebrew, half English. And we'll recite the first blessing through Melech HaOlam in Hebrew and then continue in English, and then the second blessing entirely in Hebrew and alternating as we go. As we have for 510 and more days now, we also, when we get to the prayer to release the setting free the captive, Matir Asurim, we recite that blessing twice in both ways as a symbol of our commitment to the hostages and to ourselves to continue to project our values into the world. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You have given the rooster the natural wisdom to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani b'tzalmenu kidmutenu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You have given me free will. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You have helped me provide for my needs. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You clothe the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam matir asurim. And again, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You release those who are held captive. Continuing half-half. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You help those who are bowed to stand straight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You guide each person's steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ozer Yisrael b'gvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You crown Israel with glory. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam anoten layaif koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. You remove sleep from my eyes and weariness from my eyelids. And now that we have recited 18 or Chai benedictions, Chai blessings, blessing life and affirming it, we continue with the affirmation that is the Shema, affirming our connection to a larger world through God and through love, loving the eternal and loving God's creation and those around us as we go about our life each day. Please join me. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha. V'ayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. V'shivtecha b'vetecha ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם. ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. Now, as having recited Shema together, as I mentioned, as we do on many Tuesdays, we continue with words from writer and poet Rich Orla. Um, a book that I really enjoyed, written by a professor from Tel Aviv University called The Poetics of Biblical Narrative, discusses sort of the different mindsets that much of Western, based in Greek philosophy, has, and a Jewish social mindset, and suggests that much of the larger Greco-Roman and Western mindset believes that our perspective on the world is colored primarily by our mortality, by the limits on our lives. Whereas he argues, Professor Sternberg of Tel Aviv University, argues that the Jewish perspective says that humanity, while affected by mortality, is primarily defined by what we cannot know, by the lack of certain moral knowledge, the lack of full knowledge of consequences of our lives and our actions. That being said, there's no question that mortality and the ability to have a meaningful perspective on mortality affects who we are and how we see the world. And today, as we gather to connect, to reflect, and to remember, I want to share a poem that Rich wrote in his work with Temple Sinai, with me, or shared with me in that context, called A Psalm of Mortality. A friend, after years of struggle, finally had a moment where he grasped how extraordinary and wondrous is the gift of existence. He immediately got depressed over how short life is. It feels like a tease, he said. If only I had 5 lives, he wailed. If your prayer for 5 lives was answered, I replied, you beat yourself up for not asking for 10. How beautiful the movie Casablanca is at 1 hour and 42 minutes. Has anyone ever watched Casablanca and thought, this movie would be better if it was 10 hours long? I know my life has a running time, and I'm in no rush for the closing credits. Let me experience each frame as completely as I can. Let me participate as an actor, but also as an avid audience. Let me not obsess over its inevitable fade out, but be awed by the talent of its creator. Let my prayers be applause. Let my ovation be unrestrained. Let each and every amen be heard by the creator as bravo. I really appreciate Rich's writing in general, but this piece for me is not just about mortality. It's about our willingness to see the miracle that is life, that is existence, and to pause and appreciate it and make the most of the incredible gift that we've been given, and not to complain about that we don't have more, but to acknowledge that the reality that our days are not unlimited gives us the motivation, the perspective, and hopefully the drive to make the most of each one. I hope we can make the most of today in the spirit of his writing, which, as I do on Tuesdays, I'll share one more time. A friend, after years of struggle, finally had a moment where he grasped how extraordinary and wondrous is the gift of existence. He immediately got depressed over how short life is. It feels like a tease, he said. If only I had 5 lives, he wailed. If your prayer for 5 lives was answered, I replied, you'd beat yourself up for not asking for 10. How beautiful the movie Casablanca is at 1 hour and 42 minutes. Has anyone ever watched Casablanca and thought, this movie would be better if it was 10 hours long? I know my life has a running time, and I'm in no rush for the closing credits. Let me experience each frame as completely as I can. Let me participate as an actor, but also be an avid audience. Let me not obsess over its inevitable fade out, but be awed by the talent of its creator. Let my prayers be applause. Let my ovation be unrestrained. Let each and every amen be heard by the creator as bravo. There are many different aspects of our prayers, saying bravo, acknowledging our debt to not just God, but to others, and to acknowledge the roles that each of us plays and that certain individuals play, included in what's before you on the screen, the soldiers of the IDF, who in this tenuous and fraught time continue to do their duty to wear the uniform and to present themselves as ready to stand and defend us and the Jewish democratic state of Israel and all its citizens, and at the same time, if called upon painfully, to pay the ultimate price. For each of them and all of them, we offer these words of prayer, acknowledgement, and gratitude. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל ושאר מגיני עמנו העומדים על משמרתם. ישמרם הקדוש ברוך הוא ויצילם מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה בכל מעשה ידיהם, ויקוים בהם הכתוב, וכיתתו חרבותיהם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות, לא יישאו גוי לגוי חרב, ולא ימדון עוד מלחמה, וישבו איש תחת גפנו, ותחת תאנתו, ואין מחריד ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless the soldiers of the IDF and all who stand on guard for us. May the Holy One guard them against all difficulty and distress, injury and illness. May all of their actions bring blessing, fulfilling the prophet's words. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, and may they learn war no more. May all sit under a vine or fig tree with none to make them afraid. And together we say, Amen. Well, we turn from one prayer of that formulation, calling on the one who blessed our ancestors, to now one that asks a blessing for those in need of strength and healing. I can't imagine the kind of strength and healing needed by those who've been held captive cruelly by terrorist Hamas and their criminal allies for so long. And our prayer certainly reaches out to and includes them. It also starts way closer to home, starting with those in our immediate family and circle of friends and community in need of healing. And so for all those whose names have been placed in the chat in this and other services, for those names that have been given to Temple and given to me, for all in need, we turn to these words of refuah. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו. יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו, לחלמם ולרפאותם. וישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה ועטרת שלום, ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength, reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and let us say together, Amen. It's very meaningful to have this opportunity to get together, to connect and to reflect. And now we take time to remember, recalling those who died in recent days and weeks, those who died at this season in years past, and those we have taken into our hearts with our own. During the period of Shloshim, the past 30 days, we extend our condolences to the families of Larry Bernick, Sharon Rosen, Sam Marr, Stephen Diamond, Irving Goldberg, Helene Newman, Michael Lander, Joy Lowenstein, Ian Hart, Rose Weinstock. And we remember all victims of war and terror, including terror victims Shiri Bibas, Ariel Bibas, Kfir Bibas, Yitzhak Elgarat, Ohad Yahalomi, Tzachi Idan, Shlomo Mansour, Oded Lifshitz. And those IDF soldiers whose lives have been lost in the last 30 days, Avram Tzvika Friedman, Ofer Jung, Nadav Cohen, Nachman Rafael Ben-Ami, Liam Chazi. And on Yahrzeit, on this day, on this fourth day of Adar, the fourth day of March 2025, we honor the life and legacy on Yahrzeit of Boris Edelberg, Joseph Anflick, Fred D. Bernick, Carolyn Malka Cohen, Joanne Cohen, Herb Sina, Faye Gardner, Ruth Gold, David Goldberg, Stephen Goodbaum, Augusta Hertzman, Sheila Marks Kassman, Ronald Klein, Rosaire Lavoie, Michael Lowy, Andrew Andy Mayer, Bernard Novak, Ronald Page, Jack Ritchie, Harvey Roth, Henry Shanoff, Nina Sokoloff, Mel Wise. Zichronam Levracha. May their memories be a blessing to us. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as we turn together to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דבורה חירותה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב אמור אמן. יהא שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן ועלמה ואמור אמן. יהא שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמור אמן. עושה שלום במומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמור amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember, and together we say amen. A contribution has been made to our annual campaign for tzedakah by Veronique Lavoie-Naster, observing Yahrzeit for Roselle Lavoie. Boker Tov, please join us again here tomorrow.